Call me back your advocate. Do you have any information on things that I can do to protect myself and
I'm not
have?
an advocate
Oh,
or
so
a caseworker. I just assist to refer like I did the referrals. I wish, honey, believe me, I would have moved
that
earth
would have
and
been great if
everything.
they. It would have
Yeah.
been great if they would have had someone that had
Yeah.
expertise and actually could give women direction and advocate for them.
I wish I was, but unfortunately, I'm not.
Why do you think all these places won't give me services? Did you think that's suspicious?
Yeah, yes, that's crazy.
You think maybe my abuser's controlling them? Because they won't give me proper services here, everywhere, my shelter, all of them treat me like this. Every location.
That's what I was talking to my
Yeah, and
supervisor.
then in addition, I was arrested and the police department used to come and assaulted and arrested me in front of the domestic violence organization.
Yes.
And they would sit there and witness it and did nothing. I was drug out of a church trying to get help and slammed on the concrete. So the police department used to come personally, and now I think they're abusing their power as authority figures to enlist people in conspiracy to violate rights crimes, which is a felony charge. I think that's why no one will give me services. I think the government is being enlisted in my abuse, and that's making it impossible for me to flee. Because it's just impossible. You work for SAFE, and it's just impossible for me to get services. They came.
Yeah.
I was arrested at one safe. My freedom was taken at one safe place twice in Fort Worth.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Man, that's weird.
Right, but even stranger, you're hearing it and you don't know how, and you're
exactly,
a gatekeeper, and
you were supposed to get
well,
one of all the
call them to see why they're denying me services. That's a felony charge and a conspiracy.
I don't want for you to get. If I do, I'm gonna have to connect you again with the supervisor that we had trouble last time.
Well, did you report her misconduct and her conspiring with my abuse? What did they say about it?
Talked to my supervisor, and she was gonna talk to our director. From there, I didn't hear anything anymore. But I just got in to see if they respond me, because they respond me that day after.
And then you left early, and I couldn't get any direction.
Well, actually, I left after my time because I only stay until 12.
Oh, I thought you stayed till 1. It says on the form that you stayed till 1.
No, I'm just until 12. At all.
She said that she was going to be supportive. Like I said, called and interrupted me when I was got out on an outing, and then I told her I was kind of in the middle of something, and she had an extended conversation that was kind of not remotely what my concerns were. She was speaking about her life and things she experienced in her life, and I told her I was out and about, and if we would have a conversation, I'd like it to be about how our interaction can benefit me.
Mm-hmm.
And she was speaking about things that were irrelevant. So then she said that she was going to get it down to the bottom of why she was the only person that offered services, and she said she could not go with me to do police reports and do all that. She said that they just had an online support group, and I wanted one in person because my abuser does strange things online. He has his own online support groups that are toxic, that are actually for the abuser. I've already been there, done this. Family Place, I told them I wanted to go to a support group. I came in person. They denied me that right, and then had this strange online group. A lot of online experiences are very unusual for me. I think my abuser is controlling it. Because on Grief Share, they would actually disconnect me when I talked about my abuser and what the government had done to me. And play my psychological games. They text me and said that they were going to help, and then I asked them how they were going to help and what they were going to do, and then wouldn't respond, and then tell me, what do you need help with? We've already discussed it, and they would do that repeatedly over and over. Yeah. So even my online experience is a narcissistic support group, because I couldn't get any domestic violence support groups online, period. So a narcissistic support group, a woman said that she was going to help me, and then I got locked out of it and was never able to reach her again from nowhere.
And that's with the peer support hours that you
I was telling you, a narcissistic group online.
How
on meetups.
Supervisor, yeah.
So now all the meetups I look at I can show you on my phone. They're all one party in it. It's bizarre.
That's weird.
Yes. So I think that he's controlling my online experiences.
And not just the online. I mean, completely everything.
Right. And then if
get the goosebumps.
And then if he's enlisted a domestic violence organization to deprive me of protection, I mean, actually all locations. will deprive me of services and scam with clothes, anything. They gave me clothes today, but the shelter that I'm staying at said that I may be able to get clothes. May.
That's crazy.
And then they told me to wait on the locker and haven't got back to me. Yeah, she wanted to offer me mental health treatment for services. She told me to come here and get services. I get the...
Yeah, because they have the case workers here.
They have case workers where I'm staying at the shelter.
Okay.
But she told me to come here and get services. That's a pattern of my abuse. My abuser likes me to go through and have the runaround. So he has a location, give me referral years to get nowhere. Each location I go gives me referrals. So I travel location to location and it has me trapped. But treating someone like this in a conspiracy is a felony charge. People sugarcoat criminal activity. You can't just take bribes and railroad someone and for profit and keep them from all services like they've done years. It was so bad when during COVID I was forced to live in a tent. Right. So I tried to stay at the because they had me blacklisted from our shelter. So I tried to stay at the Dallas Convention Center where they had emergency shelter during the pandemic. Well, the marshal set me up. I had a theft, and they put me out for reporting a theft and gave me a criminal trespass and arrested me. They didn't want me having shelter there. So I needed to record my experiences because they weren't realistic. And I had just bought a battery pack. So that battery pack that was stolen, the new battery pack, was critical for my life because I have to record my experiences for you to believe them. And then people do things, and then when I'm recording, they kind of stop. It kind of, yes. So anyway, they stole the battery pack and then put me out the convention center where they had emergency shelter and arrested me. Because I kept asking them why they were putting me out. They didn't know because they were committing a crime. So they just got frustrated because they had no reasoning for their behavior and just arrested me. But I have 26 false arrests that are unaddressed. And then I'm going to have all this going on, and every location is so confused.
Everywhere you go.
Everywhere they're so confused, and it's just no way possible that they can manage to give me services that they offer everyone else. And I'm just supposed to believe that it's not prearranged. They just are dumbfounded that I can...
And the pattern at this point, of course, the pattern is... Yeah,
everyone's confused. That way they don't get charges. So if you're confused, and you have to be confused to not get a charge. So if you say you're confused and you don't know what's happening, that they think that's an alibi to not get charges for depriving me of services that everyone else gets in a conspiracy, which are federal charges. So everywhere I go, they're just confused if they're not trying to set me up and frame me with mental illness, assault, and arrest me for being there. But that violates my constitutional rights. CPS is no longer, the CPS won't offer services. I can't get law enforcement.
Even CPS?
CPS won't.
Oh my God.
Can't get law enforcement. Health and Human Services as conspirators because it's the government enlisted in abuse. They're depriving me of all because I didn't get my COVID-19 stimulus in the scheme, 2 checks. And then they scammed to give me the 3rd check because it was too incriminating to not give me all 3. So they gave me 1.
Oh my God.
And they say if they gave me 1, I don't think I've ever seen it. So I have to see, they said that they gave it to me in some kind of way, but they were really scamming to keep me from all 3.
Damn government, man.
Well, I mean, it's also you guys because I'm not getting services with you and then you're the gatekeeper and then it's like people are making it seem like it's impossible for me to get services with you. I'm here trying to get services with you and can't. I don't know why, since I got in my crisis, the women fleeing for their life are put on the back burner. When was the last time we spoke?
Like 3 weeks ago?
3 weeks ago for a woman in a domestic violence crisis that involves the government and no one gave a damn? At a domestic violence organization that women normally flee the same day? In 3 weeks and no one did a damn thing? And I'm supposed to believe that's normal? At location to location? It's just some kind of way impossible to get services. It just can't be done. Well, we can just go there, right? You can just take me there to speak with an advocate.
I can't transport. I'm not allowed.
Okay, well, we can make an appointment with an advocate, right? If people aren't scheming to deprive me of services like all other locations, which is a crime. But people aren't getting accountability for their repeated racked up felonies. Do they offer safe phones there?
That's what I was gonna ask too. Do you don't have a phone anymore?
It's not a safe phone.
Okay.
Do they offer safe phones?
Well, when I was in the front, because I used to be the receptionist, we used to give like a 911 cell phones, but I don't know if they're still doing that.
Yeah, all of them stopped. That's a red flag that my phone's actually being hacked. Because all domestic violence organizations lie and say they no longer have the safe phones. Because my abuser has to control my phone to not get his felonies and his accomplices. But I mean, what position do are women really subjected to all this abuse if the party that they're fleeing from is powerful? Are they just left to sit in it?
She's like, oh.
Because maybe he's contacting the organizations and telling them to be out, all of them. Because I just find it mysterious that other women can get safe phones. Denton County Friends of the Family had a person had a safe phone and then they ran out with me.
Are you by any chance receiving any benefits at all?
Why do you ask?
I ask because I know they offer phones if you're.
I think I'm not really being heard. I want a safe phone.
Because I know they give phones here on Wednesday.
But I'm looking for a safe phone from a domestic violence organization, which is quite different. But I think the problem of it is that people that I'm speaking with are actually conspiring with my abuse and covering for it. And I'm trying to prove that my abuser is enlisting people in my environment to conspire with his abuse and cover for him.
And personally, I don't know.
Well, you do know, because what services have I got in 3 weeks? And this is a domestic violence organization. And you're dumbfounded. I don't mean to say that rude, but you're amazed by my experiences. But yet I'm left to sit in it year after year, location to location, when I'm not getting assaulted and arrested and removed. So that's a red flag that your organization is compromised. If you just let me sit in my abuse 3 weeks, and they've let me sit in the other locations, let me sit in it 6, 7 years. That endangers my safety for this repeatedly to go unaddressed, and my children's safety. And I think it's a threat to national security when no one around in the government can be trusted. And they're abusing badges and guns and enlist civilians in crimes. When we get to that day and age, when you can come to a location with a badge and guns and have armies full of civilians commit crimes, I think that's a threat to national security. When you patrol up and down locations and neighborhoods committing crimes, I don't understand how that wouldn't be a threat. Well, that's what the police department is now doing for profit. Patrolling up and down, committing crimes. And enlisting anyone they can to commit crimes with them. I thought you set it up last time.
I did.
Why can't we just see people in person? I get railroaded to make calls. My phone's hacked. And our locations scam that they no longer have safe phones to keep me in it. So I'm trying to interrupt the pattern of having to do things online, like the online support group she was offering. I like to do it in person. And I like to go in person and meet someone so my wheels aren't spent like they have been years. There's games, calls online to get nowhere. So I'm trying to bypass that deliberately.
There's someone that can talk in person in our location. Her name is Sylvia. She might be able.
And you just have to reply to people online, and we can't call anybody. We can't call legal.
Everybody is most of the time it's either a message or emails nowadays with us.
Everything changed. That's how I've been left in abuse.
Pandemic.
No, since people have been racking up charges for themselves. So it's too incriminating to call, so you send emails to not have accountability. That's not normal to sit with someone at a domestic violence organization and you can't talk to anyone and get nowhere. 3 weeks. But I think it's a game, man. I think it's a game. And I don't have that much power to abuse.
Okay, I have the address. Will you be able to?
But I mean, how do I combat that? You guys won't give me services as well as nowhere else. What am I supposed to do? And it's a felony charge. Can we report it? You're an advocate. I mean, or you're a person to help. Your organization is depriving me of assistance to flee abuse, like all other ones. Who can we report this to? We need to hold accountability. That your location is compromised, and someone there is probably taking bribes to keep me from services, and that's a felony charge and a conspiracy.
We can offer a grievance form.
Okay, yes, because that's what's happening. Your location is compromised. I think that someone took a bribe and deliberately is keeping me from services, and I think that's why they hung up. If we were really calling the real people, a lot of people like me hit to call counterfeits and pretend like I'm calling actual people, but they're actually abusers that my abuser has set up. This happens at multiple different locations. They always have to call a supervisor, which is his staff. That way, his conspirators aren't incriminated. So they have some kind of con person on the phone to take responsibility for crimes that he enlisted civilians in. That way, they don't have accountability. So they have him call this fake supervisor over the phone to take the fall for the crimes. This happened at Metro PCS and other different locations. I've had to figure it out because it was odd that we always had to call someone on the phone to be rude and deny services.
Let me get the form. I'm gonna ask the guys to
Oh, so who is the grievance going to go to? And we're still not
to
getting.
our higher ups.